evening and welcome to the show. Welcome to Coast to Coast with Gold Ghost. I'm your host, Gold Ghost, broadcasting live from my fortified island fortress in the South Pacific. Quick reminder, if tonight's show feels a little chaotic, it's because I might have written it during a power outage. So, without further ado, I think it's time to call down our good friend and high-tech Screen so we can take a look at some of the news of today. All right, Screen, come on down. Oh, fantastic. Good job, Screen. All right. Screen's so high-tech that I merely have to think of the thing, and boom, you have it on the screen. And then, to really be immersive, you put it front and center. Yes. All right. Big news this week as Pam Bondi has been fired as the Attorney General. Her exit comes after mounting frustration over her performance, proving once again, no matter how brown your nose gets, eventually you're still gonna eat dirt. So Pam Bondi is out, and it looks like Todd Blanche is stepping in. The former criminal defense attorney for Donald Trump is now the acting attorney general. Yeah, we've officially reached the point where your lawyer can become the attorney general. That's like if your Uber driver became the Secretary of Transportation. You say something slick like, "Don't worry, I've been around the block." But look at this face. Isn't this someone you trust wholeheartedly to maintain the public interest? All right, moving on. President Donald Trump is once again floating the idea of pulling the United States out of NATO. Listen, I wouldn't boo. I just want to say my evil plans to destabilize global alliances is coming along beautifully. Moving on to more recent news. Reports say another US jet was shot down, this time by Iranian forces amid the escalating conflict. The news comes at a surprise because, I've been told that the defenses didn't exist. So either Iran upgraded or we've been playing on easy mode this whole time. Space is back, baby! NASA's Artemis 2 mission has officially left Earth's orbit and is heading towards the moon. The first crewed mission of its kind in decades. It's been said that we're going to explore the dark side of the moon. And honestly, I can't wait to see what they find. I'm pretty sure they've made a movie about this, but there may be Nazis on the moon. There might be aliens on the moon. But really, I think I wouldn't be surprised if you could find the Epstein files on the moon. At this point, the moon has better odds than Congress does. All right, moving on to entertainment news. Rapper Gucci Mane made headlines after being kidnapped, after it was revealed that he had been kidnapped by fellow rapper Pooh Shiesty and associates. He later identified those responsible. And people online are calling him a snitch. Ladies and gentlemen, a snitch? The man is 46 years old with a family. At that age, you're not a snitch, you're just a responsible adult. That's not snitching, that's called filing a police report. In recent news, now that the Super Mario Galaxy is out, and the main actors are doing their press junkets around the world, one particular question may have gotten Luigi star Charlie Day in trouble when asked this question on a nearby on a recent interview.
I have a question for you, Charlie. You play Luigi, a great Italian guy. Who's your favorite Luigi in recent American history?
Recent American history? Well, me, first of all, number one. Luigi Mangione.
Luigi Mangione.
Number two. That's perfect. That's what we want.
That's what we want to thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you
This
so
is going
much.
to be great return to me.
Yeah.
Luigi Mangione, and I just said groom.
I have a question for you, Charlie.
Ah, yes. Honestly, I think the reporter kind of set him up for that one. Meanwhile, Chris Pratt got asked the same question about Mario, and his reply was Mario Lopez. Safe, clean, no controversy. I guess you could say that he was saved by the bell. But really, I want to go back to that reporter. He set him up like this was a Mario level. Okay, all right. Next, moving on to more news. Former Chicago Bull Jaden Ivey went viral after a social media rant covering everything from religion to culture to salvation to apple pies. Jaden Ivey, of course, it was reported that he had been preaching a lot to reporters in Chicago and saying things detrimental to the team. Ivey responded, "How can I be detrimental if I'm not even with the team?" Which is a fair question if it were April Fool's Day. Moving on to more news. This one's more entertainment based. Kid Rock is back in the news after he posted a video of an Apache helicopter hovering over his pool. People online were upset and they said it was inappropriate To which officials such as Pete Hegseth responded, no, 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 they are patriots. More entertainment news. Bodycam footage from Tiger Woods' arrest has surfaced. And here are some of our favorites. As you can see, here he is. Obviously, deep in thought at the situation that he is in. Is another great shot. Yes, these are two wonderful shots of the golf legend. At one point, Tiger, let's take a look. Tiger is seen going off and having a phone call. Let's see if he reveals who he was talking to.
Say again?
I just keep you down here with us, please.
Yeah, I was just talking to the president. Trying to get away from everything.
Tiger. This was a little late. This is not a situation you can golf your way out of. Trump is not your caddy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a great show tonight. Great first guest, the leader of the Seven, America's favorite corporate superhero, and a man who definitely drinks milk in ways that make people uncomfortable. Please welcome Homelander. Homelander, welcome to Coast with Gold Ghost.
Despite that, he forced a smile, his patience starting to run thin. Gold Ghost, never heard of you.
Yes, I am new to this whole talk show business, but I'm lucky to have you here today, Homelander.
Homelander chuckled mockingly and shook his head. You must be joking. I was scheduled to be on The Tonight Show, not some low-name, off-brand, cheap knockoff talk show with an irrelevant hero.
Oh, that hurts, but bad news, I am not a hero, Homelander. I am quite the James Bond villain-esque.
He cocked an eyebrow at that, his annoyance quickly being replaced with curiosity. He folded his arms as he looked at the man with a new interest. Oh, is that so? So you're a villain?
I guess you could say that, yes.
Homelander chuckled, genuinely amused now. He had to admit, the man had his attention. He continued to listen to him curiously. All right, I'll play along. What kind of villain are you?
Homelander, we're not here to talk about me. You're on the show to talk about you, of course.
Homelander rolled his eyes slightly, clearly growing frustrated with the interview already. He let out a heavy sigh, his hands going to his hips. Fine. Ask your damn questions.
All right, Mr. Homelander, what's it like being the most powerful being?
A smirk pulled across his lips, his ego clearly loving the question. He stood proudly as if he was on a pedestal. It's great. You just have no idea. Having the world at your fingertips, being able to do whatever you want, it's the best thing in the world.
It does sound quite enticing. Homelander, we on the show are big fans of The Boys, the television show. Can you tell us a bit about what your role is this upcoming season?
He raised an eyebrow at the mention of The Boys, a show that seemed to be everywhere these days. He chuckled slightly, his ego rising higher from all the attention the show has been getting him. Oh, you're fans of the show? I'm flattered. Well, in the upcoming season, I'll be doing what I do best, kicking ass and taking names. I've got a few surprises up my sleeve, but you'll just have to watch and see.
Oh, that's a good hook, Homelander. You've got everyone wondering what could possibly be your next move.
Homelander smirked, his ego inflating more and more by the minute. He loved the attention, the people hanging off his every word. He leaned in, his eyes glittering with pride. Oh, trust me, you won't be disappointed. People are going to talk about this season for a long time. I guarantee it.
Well, it is the final season, so yes, they will be.
His smile faded slightly at the mention of it being the final season, but he quickly brushed it off. He didn't want to show any weakness on camera, especially not to some random talk show host. Yes, well, that just means I have to make it the most unforgettable season yet. And I never disappoint, trust me.
Of course, of course. Homelander, I've been catching up on the prior season. Let me just say, you are quite the villain yourself sometimes.
He raised an eyebrow, his smirk growing again. He loved being referred to as a villain. It's exactly what he wanted. He leaned back, crossing his arms as he looked at the host. Oh, a villain? You're quite observant. Yes, I do have a bit of a dark side, shall we say. But who doesn't? We all have our moments.
Right, right. You get a lot of heat from the crowd.
He chuckled bitterly at the mention of the heat from the crowd. He knew all too well how the public can turn on a dime. He shrugged it off, his ego not allowing any doubt to show through. Oh, they're just idiots. They have no idea what they're talking about. They'll be singing my praises again soon enough, mark my words.
Of course, of course. Homelander, now we know your power to, or one of them is that you can fly and have heat vision. What are some of your other powers?
He smirked at the question, his ego flaring up again. He loved nothing more than talking about himself and his powers. Well, I'm not just a one-trick pony. Besides being able to fly and having these amazing heat vision, I'm physically strong. I mean, really strong. I have this thing called super strength. I can lift things that no normal person could, like cars, buildings. Hell, I could probably lift this entire set if I wanted to.
Really? That would be quite impressive to do. Please don't, as we're still doing construction here, so it's not finished yet.
He chuckled at the comment, a smirk forming on his lips. Oh, don't worry, I wouldn't do anything to your precious set. But I'm also indestructible. Yeah, you heard right. Indestructible. Nothing can hurt me. Bullets, knives, explosions, they don't even faze me.
Wow. What about spoiled milk?
He froze at the mention of spoiled milk, his smirk faltering for a moment. A brief sense of disgust and unease washed over his face. He quickly forced his usual confident expression, dismissing the question. What? Why would you ask me about spoiled milk?
No reason in particular. Wink, wink.
He narrowed his eyes at the host's comment, not missing the wink. He clenched his jaw slightly, his patience starting to wear thin with the questions. You're an odd duck, you know that? So what's with the stupid question about milk?
We can drop it. That's a terrible line of questioning for my guest tonight. Homelander, what else do you have to say to the crowd before I let you go?
He took a deep breath, regaining his composure after being thrown off guard by the question. He puffed his chest up, his ego once again taking over. Well, I just want to say thank you to all my supporters. You guys are the best. And to my enemies out there, watch your backs, because I'll be coming for you. And remember, Homelander always wins.
What about Billy Butcher?
His expression quickly changes to one of annoyance and anger at the mention of Billy Butcher. He clenched his jaw tightly, gritting out the words through his teeth. Billy Butcher? That damn cockroach. He's nothing but a pain in my side. I'll get rid of him eventually.
Right. Well, Homelander, thank you so much for joining the show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Please give it up for the one and only Homelander.
He stood up from the couch, a cocky smirk plastered on his face as he flexed slightly. He waved at the audience as applause rang out, his ego inflated even more than before. He let out a chuckle, loving the attention on him. He looked over at the host with a smug look. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
That's it from Homelander. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, we've reached that part of the show. We'll take a brief intermission and we'll be right back with our musical guest. Our musical guest in just a moment. Back. Thank you. Finally tonight, our musical guests performing Otonoke, the hit single from the hit anime Dandadan. Please welcome Creepy Nuts. Please welcome Creepy Nuts. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. Creepy Nuts Otonoke by Creepy Nuts. The song for the hit anime Dandadan. Well, seemingly we have reached the end of the show somehow. Time has flown by here while I did my thing today. I was hesitant to go live with today's episode. I didn't think it was going to be good, but we made it through to the end. So that's what I like to call a W. To anyone who might tune into the show, highly appreciate you for checking it out. So, in tradition, we're going to see as our good screen converts to away mode. All right, screen, say goodbye. There we go. Incredible technology there. That's our show tonight, folks. Thank you all for watching. Remember, if things seem out of control, that just means that I am working on a plan. Sorry to Nicolas Maduro, we ran out of time. GG's. Ah, what a show. Fantastic. No one came in to the show tonight. Great. It's just wonderful. Ah, what the hell. Goodbye, suckers.